I am joined by our lovely new sponsor, Lazarex Cancer Foundation. Well, I guess the foundation itself isn't lovely, but Dana is lovely. She's the CEO here. And Dana, why don't you tell us very quickly, give us a little preview about the whole Lazarex Cancer Foundation, and I'll set up the show and what we're going to talk about this week.
Well, Lazarex Cancer Foundation exists to support end-stage cancer patients in their quest for life through clinical trials. And we provide financial assistance to those cancer patients to allow them to take advantage of the technical breakthroughs in medicine and clinical trials.
Now, that's huge because, and we talked about it, and I did a video on conservative new media talking about this. My father had leukemia, which is basically cancer of the blood. And he had all kinds of different treatments that he did and whatnot. And he was really sick in the hospital for about a year. And it was really crazy because here was a man that was so proud and had achieved so much in his life coming from nothing. And I remember there's a lot of times where he didn't even want, the kids to see him. He wanted people to see him like that and whatnot. And then he was okay for a little bit, and then he died of a heart attack. And we think because of some of the treatments there, and that some of these things can weaken the heart and whatnot. And so what you're saying and what you're involved in is something that is so important to me and really touched my heart and my family. And as you told me before off the air, everybody either is directly affected by it or knows someone who has had cancer. Maybe it's their friend's mom or this and that, whatever. This is something, obviously I do a show here, and I want to say that up front. Your foundation and your work with us is not political at all. And, because cancer really, unfortunately, affects everybody.
Absolutely. Cancer does not discriminate. And, you just touched on a point about your dad. Cancer is also an incredibly demoralizing disease. Yeah. And it just breaks down all the barriers. And, one of the things that a cancer patient goes through is they start to question the value of their life in the pursuit of life. Wow. And when you've reached the end of the road, when your doctor tells you, you have to get your affairs in order, there is no more hope for you, and you're at that point pretty much, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially bankrupt.
That is intense, and it's horrible. And that's why what you're doing at the Lazarex Cancer Foundation, Lazarex.org, is so important, because you're offering people the opportunity to go to these breaking, cutting-edge clinical trials so they can have another shot at the newest stuff. It may or may not work. We're not doctors here. We're not making any medical claims, trade claims, any other kind of claims. But you're saying, look, these are licensed doctors and hospitals, obviously the best of the best, most of these facilities, and they're in FDA clinical trials right now, and these are things that might come out to the public, but you might not get it for 2, 3, 5 years, and those are 2 or 3 or 5 years that are critical to if you have end-stage cancer right now.
Absolutely. Okay. What people need to understand is that every drug that's on the market today, everything you buy in the drugstore, every prescription that your doctor prescribes for you was a drug in a clinical trial at some point. And, obviously a lot of drugs that are in clinical trial fail, but there are a lot that do succeed. And these patients who are considered end-stage cancer patients, they need help now. Drug development and something that comes out on the market 5 years from now isn't going to help them. They need help today, and the way to get that help is to enable them to take advantage of those breakthroughs, the potential breakthroughs in clinical trials.
That is fantastic. We're going to talk a lot more about this. Dana's with us for the entire show. We're also going to talk about what I normally talk about, and let's flip into some of that a little bit right now. One of the conservative new media viewers out there and listeners, one of the reasons why this is so important, if you remember what happened here in California, we had Carly Fiorina. Fantastic woman, super strong, great executive, great candidate in my personal opinion, and she's just battled with cancer, and she was on the campaign trail and still had to go in there for treatments, and like you said, demoralizing. She had lost her hair, and some of the liberals were trying to make fun of that, and that whole thing. What a fantastic woman, what a great story, and here's someone that was saying, you know what, not only am I not giving up, I'm going to beat this thing, and I'm going to serve the people of California, and I hope Carly Fiorina stays around. I hope that maybe we can maybe try to get some connection here because that campaign, like me and everything like that. I mean, because I think she would be a great person to get involved in Lazarex.org, and we would love to have people on the left too. Again, this is not partisan. The cancer does not discriminate. We need to get solutions for some people out there. And while we're talking politics, let's bring in Paul here. It's my little brother. He does conservative media with me because, now with the rest of the show, you can, and we're going to talk more about Lazarex. Okay. You can pipe up or not pipe up. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to join me in my craziness. Now, Paul, what's going on now? I'm so excited. This is the week of giving thanks. This Thanksgiving's coming up, and we got a lot to be thankful for, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get Lazarex, Cancer Foundation in here, Lazarex.org, because we have so much to be thankful for, and we all need to give back. But let's talk about something that we're thankful for, this election results. And I got to tell you, this Republican Congress and the leadership, it's looking really cool, okay? Like, I've always liked John Boehner. Some people that try to criticize, I've always liked him. I liked his demeanor, his swagger, his tan, the whole 9 yards. I don't care. I like the whole situation. The man knows how to get it done. But they're also getting a couple of freshmen in here, and that's good. They've heard the voters. They're saying that, hey, we're going to put earmarks, no more earmarks, and that's not a ton of money, but it's good symbolism, and they're going to try to start cutting some spending, right?
That's right. One of the first things that the Republican incoming Congress did was they canceled a meeting where they were going to meet with President Barack Obama, and the reason given for that was that they felt that the last time that they met with Obama, which was a televised thing, that they kind of got burned. Now that they were a little bit ambushed.
There's a surprise, right? I remember that. I remember the little healthcare forum, whatever, and he's like punking people out. And Paul Ryan asked him some questions, and he couldn't answer them. It's like, dude, that guy's all show and no go. We know that. Unfortunately, he's too much go on trying to take over everything and making this a socialist country, in my personal opinion. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that I think there are a lot of people on the Republican and conservative side that feel strengthened by that move. Like, look, don't set yourself up again. If you guys need to kind of talk and get your plans together, then do that rather than walk into what you feel like might be a media trap.
Exactly. We don't want a media trap. But you've been in politics for a long time. I've been in politics freaking all my life. And I'm encouraged by this. Are you encouraged by what you're seeing? I'm not saying that the world's changed and everything's okay with this one election, but I think that the GOP leadership, at least in Congress, has heard the message, and I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Another thing that they did, John, was they had kind of, I don't remember exactly what the program is called, but kind of had an open forum to ask constituents what is an important issue to you, and we'll bring it to the forefront. And what the people voted on was...
You cut.
Right, you cut. That's exactly what it's called. You cut. The first issue that people said was important to them in the wake of the Juan Williams firing was, it's time for taxpayers to stop funding National Public Radio, NPR.
Thank you. Exactly. We do need to cut NPR. In my personal opinion, I don't like what they did to Juan Williams. That was a disgrace.